Hi guys, I'm back today and I'm going to be talking about a couple different things that I was really excited to try and get my hands on. First being, and I've never tried this before, the Eldridge lipsticks, and then also I did pick up one of her lip kits in color Velvet Muse. So I got the lip liner, the lip gloss, and the lipstick in the Velvet Muse. This is the bag that it came in. It's kind of like a soft touch in one direction and then the other's just kind of, you know, it's weird. But this is the size of it, so it's normal, like, makeup case size. Really nice. The price that I spent on that USD was like $82.19, so not cheap. Definitely a luxury brand. And then for a single lipstick, which I got the shade Velvet Fawn, it was $34. So altogether, it was not cheap. She does have free shipping, so in a sense that kind of offsets a little bit because shipping usually from far away is about $14. Just depends on where you're getting it from or if they have any kinds of shipping deals going on, but in this case it was free shipping, which was very nice. I liked it a lot. And so I will definitely show you guys swatches of those, and then I've also done a few different wear tests with them on my lips, so I can talk to you about that as well. The other things that I got a chance to try were the Pat McGrath quads. I swear I say this every time. I wasn't planning on getting these, and actually initially before they showed the colors I was, because I really liked the quads from last year. I liked them. I thought they were nice colors. Really interesting, but then I saw this year's and I was kind of like, this looks like everything else she's released this year, truthfully. And I still decided I was going to get them so I could swatch them for you guys and so I could do some looks for you guys and see what you guys thought. And I am wearing kind of a mix of Interstellar Icon and I think the Fleur Fantasia, but I can't remember now. I've done a few looks with the quads, I've done a few looks with the lipsticks, and I'm going to put them all here. They're all from different days, so you never know what shirts or what I'm going to be wearing in the middle of that. Let me show you the quads real quick. This is the Interstellar Icon palette, and I'm actually going to move it over here because I feel like you can get a better view of the different shifts in some of that blue shade, which this in a way reminds me of the Nocturnal Nirvana, because I'm pretty sure that it had a shade like this, and if not, then definitely a few of her full-size Mothership palettes have shades that are very similar to this. So, and then this one right here, which I think is called Blue Blood, is actually in her Big Decadence palette. So this is not a new shade. It's also not my favorite shade. It also doesn't necessarily come off looking like that, so that's something to keep in mind, because I'm wearing it right now, and I feel like you can't really tell. This shade down here, which is Divine Dahlia, is gorgeous. I actually probably like that the best out of the whole palette. I mean, I like this the best probably because it is so shifty, and that is shade Hypnotic, but it's not a new shade. It's not a new shade from Pat. It's not anything, I mean, it's slightly different, I suppose. Now, I will say, it doesn't look as impressive right now on my eyes, but when I first put it on, you could really see the shifts, and on my finger, it was gorgeous. This is the Fleur Fantasia palette, well, quad, more or less, and this is what it looks like. It's a little bit shifty. Like, this shade down here has a lot of different flips to it. But here again, I feel like I just have a lot of these same colors in, you know, the Divine Rose palettes that she's released. They're not the exact same, but they are similar enough that I don't feel like I need these in my collection to be complete. However, if you do not have these, this is definitely worth picking up. The quality is really good, and they are beautiful shades. Then, the Risqué Rose, which looks like this. So here's my thoughts. Again, this color, despite being called something else, I think this was Mink Noir or something like that. I probably can't pronounce that second word, sorry. We've seen it. We've seen it a bunch of times. We've seen it 100 times. It's just slightly different than something that she's done in pretty much all of her palettes. This hot pink shade up here, we've definitely seen similar shades in a lot of her palettes, including the Divine Rose and the Lavian Rose. And I'm just kind of done. I'm done on these shades. I really want to stop seeing them. I love Pat McGrath. Pat McGrath, if you're watching, your formulation is beautiful. I like your products, but I really need some variation in these collections because honestly, I've seen the same shades over and over and over and over. And to be honest, as a collector, it's very frustrating. I would love to see you take on some new color stories because if not, I've said this before, but I mean it this time, I'm done buying them. I'm done buying them. They're too much money to keep buying the same shades over and over and over. So these were, I do believe, $58 down from last year. That they were $65, but they were mostly all special shades last year for the most part. So last year's I liked better. This is me just being honest with you guys. But if you don't have these shades already, it is definitely worth checking them out. The other shade that I didn't mention in here that I was really excited about was Lavendering. Not only is it a stunning eyeshadow, but it was a lip gloss, and I love that lip gloss. I was obsessed with it. I still am obsessed with it. I'm going to keep using it. I enjoy it. So that shade in here is very unique, really pretty, really like it. So let's talk about the lipsticks a little bit. Coming back here, I would say that Lisa Eldridge did a really nice job, especially with this lip liner formula. It is very smooth. It is easy to apply. It doesn't get all caught up on your skin. I really like it. I think it's nice. I think that the color, I got the Velvet Muse color. It is gorgeous. It is, I think it could be a nude all the way up to kind of a medium deep, but not deep. Deep, I think you'd want to go a little bip darker on your choice. But this is gorgeous. I feel like it is so smooth and so nice, and I just really enjoyed it. I also got the lip gloss, which is a really nice lip gloss. It's not my favorite, not my least favorite. It's a gloss, you know. It's something kind of similar to, let's see here, I'm trying to think. This actually reminds me a little bit in texture like the NYX Butter Gloss. Maybe slightly stickier, but it's a nice formulation. It's a beautiful color. I'm wearing the liner topped with the gloss right now. I'm going to go ahead and actually soup this up by adding, I could use the Velvet Muse to go with the rest of my Muse lipsticks that I'm wearing right now. Oh my gosh, you guys, so this was heartbreaking. The day that I got this, I dropped it right on my kitchen floor and I smashed it up. For that, the actual design that she keeps on these lipsticks is really interesting. It's like a really faint graphic line that goes all around it. Or gridding. I don't know, but it's beautiful. I really like that detail. And these have a really interesting formulation, which I'll talk about in just a second. So I'm going to put on more of Velvet Fawn. I'm going to put it right on over what I've got right now. So I think it's interesting that it can mattify something so easily, because that was very glossy. And it is still a little bit glossy, especially where I've got like highlighter and things. But it does make your lips feel really nice. The only thing I will say about these is the formulation actually reminds me a little bit of the MAC Powder Kiss formulation that they have. I don't know if they still have it out. I'm sure they do. But the colors are really beautiful. I feel like her selection is really nice. Okay, so here's the thing. This packaging is really beautiful. Like, it is just a lovely kind of gold packaging. And then it's got her little emblem right up here at the top, which is really cute. However, I'd never used a magnetic like lipstick lid before, and if you don't have it the right way or you're not doing it exactly right, this is how I dropped my lipstick. So be careful with that, because you may end up with a smashed up little tip like I did, which is heartbreaking. And then the other thing is, depending on these, you can kind of push each other off the table because they're both magnetized. So it's mildly entertaining. They're really nice lipsticks, but do I necessarily think they're worth the price? I personally feel like I have other lipsticks that I like just as well that were far less expensive. That is just me being honest. However, if you love Lisa Eldridge and you want to support her and her brand and you love the feel of this, which it is really luxe feeling, it is really nice on my lips, I really enjoy it, then, you know, it might be 100% worth it to you guys. So for me, it's definitely like a splurge. It is gorgeous. I love it. I have nothing negative to say about it, but it is kind of a bougie purchase. And as far as the quads go from Pat McGrath, I really want to see some variation. In fact, it's really funny. I don't know how many times I've said I would love to see a Baby Yoda palette, and now ColourPop is actually doing a Baby Yoda palette, and I've said, you know, since Pat McGrath did all the Star Wars palettes before, she should do like a Baby Yoda palette, and now it's happening with a different brand, and I feel like that's an opportunity missed by Pat McGrath, because so many of us have asked for a green palette or different palettes in general, and I would really like to see that. For now, I think I'm kind of done on Pat McGrath until she can change up what she's doing. Truthfully, it's just not diverse enough to justify keeping in my collection. It's just not. So, in any case, I am going to swatch all of this for you guys so you can see them all on my arm. I'm going to start with the eyeshadows, and then I'm going to go to the lips, and I will put them both up for you. Starting with the Risqué Rose Quad, I'm going to be starting with the shade Rose Rebellion. I figured I'd turn on the light so you could maybe see it a little bit differently. The next shade is Lavendering. And this is, oh, you guys, I'm sorry, let me back up here. So this is a pink, slightly fuchsia, and it is more of a creamy matte, kind of like Natasha Denona's formulation, rather than the typical matte formula from Pat McGrath. The second shade is Lavendering, and it is a gray and purple and pink kind of shade with slight gold particles to it as well. Kind of reminds me of a Melt Cosmetics shade, actually, but it is of better quality, personally. Make Noir. And this is your basic Pat McGrath color. I think we've seen this in every single palette, almost that she's ever made. It is that kind of brownish, maroonish kind of shade. The last shade in this quad is Life on Mars. And it's just a beautiful kind of bronzy, rose-toned, metallic shade. Use the Fleur Fantasia, starting with the shade Utopia. This is kind of a beautiful orangish, pinkish, goldish type of shade. It's very soft, so I wouldn't necessarily call it a metallic, but it is kind of like that iridescent, kind of highlighty kind of shade. It is called Lavender Blue. And it is, in fact, a lavender shifting blue. The shade is Iridescent Orchid. This is definitely a special shade within the palette, but it is not a new shade in my opinion. She has similar shades, even in the Subversive palette as well. You're seeing a very brightly pink and purple shade, and I'm seeing a very orangish, reddish pink shade. The last shade in this quad is Lotus Paradise. And this is a beautiful kind of peachy pink shade. More pink, definitely more dusty rose pink, but with orange to it. Again, this is giving me strong Divine Rose vibes. Next we have the Interstellar Icon palette, starting with the shade Golden Polaris. And this is a typical Pat McGrath shade, although with a slight twist. It is a little bit more pinky in the shift, but Pat McGrath makes a lot of gold shades. It's Hypnotic. And for me, I'm seeing a very strongly purple shade, but in the monitor you're seeing like a blue to deep blue. And it does shift. I was hoping I could catch the purple. But I'm seeing like only purple from my point of view. So just keep that in mind. It will definitely shift as you wear it. It is Blue Blood. And this is like a black based purple, or maybe even a deep brown based purple with a slight red bit to it as well. This has already been in one of her other palettes, the Decadence palette, the full size one. The last shade is Divine Dahlia. And it is a very brown shade, but it's also got red and green particles within it. So it is really beautiful and unique. Starting with the Muse lip liner, this is what it looks like. It's a beautiful, just dusty rose shade. Gorgeous, love it, beautiful, creamy. Probably the best lip pencil I've used. The lip gloss in the shade Muse. Almost slightly more orange in tone, but layered over each other, it's really a pretty combination. The lipstick of Muse. And it's definitely a really nice matte finish, kind of dusty rose again, with maybe a slight orange tint to it in general. The shade that I got was Velvet Affair. And it is actually quite similar to the Muse shade, but it is just a lighter variation of it. And maybe slightly less orange as well. Although in the camera it's definitely picking up more orange. But it is extremely similar. And I would say that easily you could move in and out between these and be good to go. guys, I'm back. I have my eyeliner on, I have my mascara on. I'll talk about each of these items with you guys. First things first, and that would be the lip liner in the shade Muse. It is beautiful, it is gorgeous, and I sincerely think that this is actually very much worth the money. I've used probably 10 other different types of lip liners at this point, but this has been my favorite thus far. I love this color. It is gorgeous. When it comes to lip gloss, I got the shade Muse as well. It is very similar, and it does pair nicely with both the lipstick and the lip liner. However, for me, I don't necessarily need it. I should have probably just gotten more lipsticks and less of these. I could definitely do without this. It's not like a necessity for me. Then the bag, I don't need another bag. I have lots of bags. However, if you are a Lisa Eldridge lover, collector, all of that, this is definitely a nice addition because the print is really pretty and very feminine. I really like it. It is nice. The next thing being Velvet Muse. I like this shade with a different eye. I kind of had it paired strangely for my video. I personally go lighter in my opinion, but for pretty much anything else, Velvet Muse is gorgeous. And the texture of these lipsticks is really different. It is like, I feel like it's done a really nice job of filling out my lips. They look very perfected. This is a very dry matte formulation, but it doesn't feel gross on your lips like a lot of dry mattes feel. So truthfully, it is kind of a splurge, but I definitely think I'll probably get more of these, to be honest. I think they're really nice, and there were a couple colors that I was like, oh, I should get these, and then I didn't get them, and now I regret it wholeheartedly. Then the very last color that I got was Velvet Fawn. This is probably my favorite shade. I should have gotten Velvet Affair. I really wanted to. In fact, I think I said Velvet Affair when I was swatching it because I still have it on my mind. So I'm sorry. I actually got Velvet Fawn. I will show you guys this in the tube as well. It's just a lighter shade. It's what I'm wearing on my lips. It like directly matches the tube. So I really like it. I think it would be better with a different eye look as well. Again, probably the other palettes I used together would have been nice. But it's okay. I mean, it is what it is. I'm here just trying stuff. So if I don't match completely, that's not the end of the world. Now I want to talk about the quads and my final thoughts on each one of these. So Interstellar Icon, I shouldn't have bought this. To me, I've got so many things that are similar to this in my collection. It's just like not even worth it to me personally. However, if you are new to Pat McGrath, you don't have any for other stuff, it is beautiful. You will love it. The formulations are superb. That is what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. And I'm hoping you can catch how shifty it is, because it's much more shifty than you're even seeing right now. Gorgeous, beautiful, fantastic. But for me, I've already got all these shades. I'm, you know, in some variation, they're very, very close. And then next we've got Fleur Fantasia, which I really, really like. I really like it. But I've got the Divine Rose, both of those palettes, and then even the small one. So for me, I just feel like it's been done. It's been done. It's been done. It's been done. I would really like to see Pat McGrath branch out and do some different color stories because she's a brilliant artist. She has an amazing concept of what is gorgeous and good and beautiful, and I want to see some different color stories. I just do. I've seen the same kind of pinkish and maroonish and brownish and bluish over and over, and gold. Oh my goodness, I've seen enough gold. The next quad is Risqué Rose, which there again, minus Lavendering, I have all of these. I have them many times over. But if these are new to you, if you don't already have a lot, if you're a huge collector, it's definitely worth picking up. This is what the boxes look like. I don't even know if I showed them. They're nice, they're pretty, but they're not like the best packaging I've seen from her personally. That's just my opinion. Please don't hate me, you guys, because I still love Pat McGrath. I still love these quads, but I just feel like I liked her packaging last year and the year before much better. I like her packaging. I love her products, but this year I just wanted to see something different. And maybe it's because of coronavirus that this didn't happen, or maybe her original plans didn't work out. So I can't speak to any of that. I have none of that knowledge, but I will say this. I was able to get them as like a whole price of $150, or maybe it was $148 for all three of them. And then I got an additional 10% off. This is when they launched. So really, I saved quite a bit. They were only like 44 bucks or something like that a piece at that point, which, you know, is much better than you're paying about $10 per shade, which is still a lot, especially when you already have a lot of them. Final thoughts on the Pat McGrath. If you don't have a lot of her collection, or you are a diehard collector, you should definitely pick these up. You won't be disappointed. But if you are like me, you have a lot of her stuff, and you're not necessarily trying to be a collector, even though you still are kind of a collector, you don't need it. You don't need it. You can definitely pass on it and just wait for something else. That is my opinion. Or catch everything on a sale, because like for instance right now, she's got 30% off, or up to 30% off going on her site. Her Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals are always dope as well, so definitely keep your eye out for those kind kind of specials as well. I really hope that this was helpful to you guys. If it was, make sure you leave a comment down below, subscribe, ring the bell for future updates, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.